way too much farm when it's all said and done. You just can't deal with that farm Dark Lady Trail.
I just really feel like if they had different heroes, it would have been so much better because
Yeah.
regardless of who was mid, regardless of who was helping the jungler, Legionnaire was farming like a freaking beast,
He
man.
was.
And he was getting those levels like crazy, using that hatchet to cut down the trees, double stack a couple different things at the same time, and just got so many different so many levels. And I feel like a Luna Demented Shaman didn't really do much that game, and that's where you put your dueling. That's where you put all your eggs in, is that dueling Luna and Demented Shaman mid. It just didn't really work out. They didn't have the greatest impact in the game. Tremble, he had quite a bit of an impact, but I feel like if that was like a carry, they maybe could have contested Dark Lady in the late game. But you live and learn. Maybe they'll try and switch something up this next game. But I say, hey, Legionnaire worked. Try him again.
Yeah, no, see, I kind of disagree with you, though, in the sense of that Tremble kind of had a decent impact. Because, honestly, I don't think, you made a point when we first saw him pick that the way we like to see him play, and it seems to be the successful way, is more of an active style, at least with that Boris. And, honestly, from what we saw there from Super KGE, we didn't really get a whole lot of that. It seemed like he was more of a static farmer there at the top lane. And, again, his items turned out to be decent. He got the earlier on Mock of Brilliance on top of the helm, and it was going fine in that sense. And when it came to team fights, sure, he was doing stuff, but again, I personally didn't see at least more of an aggressive play style out of him, and I think that could have helped as well. But again, not to point out specific players, in the end, Lions lost as a team for sure. But some things to keep in mind. But on the Legionnaire, I do agree. I think going Legionnaire again could definitely work for them. But anyways, it looks like game number 2 has actually started here, guys. So let's go ahead. Let's take a look. Game number 2. All right, of course, switching things up right here. Lions is on the Legion side, Complexity on the Hellborn side, like I said. And as you can see on your screen, big shout out to Killer Orange once again, making the beautiful graphics here at HoNcast. Great production value. 1-0 series lead in favor of Complexity. We got Handskin waiting for him to see his blind bands. Remember, Wild Soul was overlapped last time. This time, apparently, it's going to be Tundra. As Tundra Ophelia taken out by Lions, Tundra Parasite taken out by Complexity here. So Wild Soul is open.
There's that Parasite ban all the time, yet again, from B-Kid.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. Wild Soul is open. I don't know if Lions runs him. And but it doesn't matter. I say that all the time. Like, I don't know if this team is comfortable running him. I don't know. You got to be, like, at this level, the highest level, you need to be comfortable running literally every single hero.
If you're in Diamond,
I mean, you need to take that responsibility on yourself as a top team to be able to utilize a bunch of different heroes. Try them out in TMM, constantly pump out all those games with practice, and get those heroes down. But anyway, the locks have happened. They actually, I believe they locked Master of Arms last time too, but they just didn't utilize him. But the first lock is actually going to be MOA. B-Kid follows up with a Tempest. Again, there we go. That's the name of the game with B-Kid. It's junglers and suicides. So Tempest Warbeast coming out from B-Kid.
Yeah, he's just so comfortable with this lockpick mode. You like to relate him to Fly from formerly of Fnatic MSI, of course, back in those days with the banning pick mode. How he was just considered a genius even when it came to that play mode. It seems like B-Kid has kind of stepped up as a new Fly in the sense, at least for lockpick. I mean, just always so sound, and it just seems to work out every single time. For Complexity. So, but yeah, the Master of Arms, again, the first lock, they locked him last game against Vote yesterday. They also locked him. So, like I keep saying, I mean, clearly a hero that they value somewhat, but, well, you still have yet to actually see them play recently. So, I want to see him eventually pop up, but we'll see if it happens this game or not. Of course, their next 2 locks going to be coming up right here. It is going to be Hag, apparently, as one, and Bubbles the others, and Keeper the Forced final. So, wow, I mean, very strong lock pool between the Suicide and the jungle options there coming out.
Yep, I think B-Kid really likes that lock pool because it has 5 different heroes that they have no problem in taking.
Yeah.
I don't really see them ever run MOA, but Tempest, Tempest, Warbeast, Hag. They love running Hag right now. That seems to be their favorite hero. They run him and throw him on Hackstone all the time in that short lane. And works out just fine. Obviously, they run Suicide Keeper. They can also jungle with Keeper with Chessie. They run Suicide Bubbles. They have. This is a very comfortable lock pick.
Yeah, you put it on Lion. If they don't first pick Keeper or Tempest, I mean, you figure because like Tempest Keeper with their lock picks, and they of course they would love to run that. So.
Well, they can,
but that's the thing. I know, no matter who they go, it's
They really have to first pick Keeper, because if they don't, you're going to go Keeper plus Warbeast, or Keeper plus Bubbles, or Keeper plus Tempest, and it's just it'll work any way you want it to.
Yeah.
Anyway, the bans have come out. Dark Lady, Fade coming out from B-Kid, Legionnaire, actually Hanskin banning out the Legionnaire. That's kind of interesting.
What?
And then B-Kid bans out that Pebble, so he doesn't want those those very, very strong gankers right now. Fade and Pebbles both banned out by B-Kid.
Yeah, I don't get that Legionnaire ban whatsoever. I mean, especially with that lock, let's see complexity even valuing Legionnaire here. I mean, there's just way too much value in that lock pool as far as jungle options. So the Legionnaire ban's very, very odd for me, but hey, it's a ban nonetheless. Pebbles, Silhouette, Draconis are the final ban, so that's how things finish off. We got the first pick now. What's going to be a snap pick? It apparently is, and there we go. Moraxis is going to be the first pick right off the bat here. Coming out for Hanskin.
Yeah, I was going to say, actually, Jesse, he seems to shout out a lot of different people every single day. It's kind of funny. He has a lot of friends. Very popular guy, Jesse.
Good for him. Good for him.
Anyway, yeah, as I was alluding to earlier, Lion really does value Moraxis, and I saw him first pick them. I saw them first pick it, I believe, when we were starting to cast Vote versus Lions yesterday. And so they value this hero very highly. They pick him quite often. They use him very effectively. So first pick Moraxis coming out for Lions.
Yeah. So the next two, of course, going to be followed up by B-Kid here. I think we're also going to get a good amount of answers to, depending on whether or not they get a hard carry here for Haxor in the regular picking stage. If not, then we could very likely expect them to pick up Warbeast as one of their kind of carry option. Well, of course, we know Chessie plays a great Warbeast as well. So, something they have been doing lately is also a Hag, but obviously Hag being in a lock pool, especially with all the other heroes, maybe not. So yeah, we'll see what Beacon decides here. I'm just going to say, Jeraziah is still on the board. I know Beacon loves that hero. He really went away from that. Jeraziah and Nymphora seem to be his two blind bans for the longest time, and then he threw him Parasite in there and all those cheese style, I guess. But there you go. Engineer Magmus. So this time they do go Magmus, Trev.
Yep.
Unlike last game.
And they love that Engineer Magmus combination. It's very, very strong. Engineer is just a really good hero. He's also quite good against Moraxis. And they have their dual lane mid set. So now the question is, do they draft a Suicide hero and then plan on picking Hag or Bubbles as their short lane? Or do they just wait and assume that they're going to get a Suicide out of either Bubbles or Keeper of the Forest? So Complexity has some options. It just depends on what they value a little bit more. Lions, they have they have an entire pool at their disposal. What are they going to do? Probably Glacius. I saw this yesterday, or the other day, Glacius Moraxis with them. I do think it's a little bit stronger than Luna Moraxis, but Luna is just as strong, and it actually might be a little bit better against, if they do want to go heads up against that Engineer Magmus in mid, Luna might be a little bit better because you feel like you just have a little bit more range with that power throw. But so it's probably going to be a support, either a Luna or Glacius in the mid, and then probably something like a Suicide hero might be the safest bet.
Well, Nymphora is also on the board. And
Nymphora is very good, but not the strongest laner exactly.
True. So we'll see. Carry option here, I think, as well. I mean, you got Forsaken still on the board, your Mage Bane, of course. So there's some powerful ones, but they're going to go Moon Queen, actually. So it happens to be Moon Queen Nymphora as their final two picks here. So they, as you said, Nymphora maybe not as strong of a laner as Glacius and the Luna when it comes down to it, but in the end, she could arguably bring more value to you in the mid to late game. So, so it's about getting there, and especially when you pick up a hero like Moon Queen. Well, let's be honest, that's what you're aiming for. So, maybe it is coming together in that sense. For Complexity, again, we're gonna get some answers here if they go a carry, or if they just gonna go something else. But probably not support because I guess they got Engineer. So.
I think if you're Complexity, you can safely assume that Lions is gonna first pick that Keeper of the Forest.
Yeah,
I really expect them to do that. So if you have that in mind, you
go
can
Bubbles
pick out
Warbeast, man.
Yeah, well, you can pick up another solo here. Like I really don't like Tempest Suicide. You can do it. So the option is either to pick a jungler here right now, and then you have Hag as the solo short, which would be fine. But what other jungler is there? Like, I don't think there's a single thing. You're going to have a Torture, so that's probably going to go solo top. So that means they're going to pick up probably a Bubbles and Tempest. As their last two picks. This is assuming that Keeper of the Force is picked up, which I think it should be by Lions.
Well, let's see. It's not going to be a snap decision. They don't got the most time, though. It is. And a Bubbles Warbeast. Bubbles Warbeast come through for me. Ah, damn it.
I don't really think they need all that extra. Well, Bubbles Warbeast does synergize fantastically together.
Yeah.
So that might be the best thing.
Make me look good, B-Kid.
Well, it's going to be Bubbles.
Make me look good.
It'll be Bubbles. It'd be pretty crazy if they went Tempest. I think that'd be a poor decision for them.
Yeah.
No, I don't like that.
I love right as you say that. He's like, shut up, Trout. And he kills it.
I just don't like Suicide Tempest. I don't know. I'm just not a fan.
Well, to me, it's a case of Bubbles just all around seems like the better choice, a better Suicide option. He synergizes very well with Warbeast, as we always talk about. I mean, obviously Moon Meter is very comfortable with him. Yeah, I don't know. That is interesting.
They're just going for mass AOE team fight, I suppose. But why not Bubbles? I mean,
yeah, Bubbles fits that
Bubbles
too.
is a little bit easier. He's a little bit easier to suicide. You do have the deny. That might be the only thing, the only reason why they want Tempest over Bubbles is just being able to get those levels with that deny. But yeah, I don't know. I think Bubbles just would have been a lot better.
Well, in the end, they go Tempest. We'll see how that works for them. Master of Arms was the final pick here for Lion, though. So, sure enough, they do actually pick up the Master of Arms this time around after locking him several times. So,
weird.
Yeah.
We talked this whole time about complexity. Why didn't they pick up Bubbles?
Yeah,
I don't
that too. How are they going to – I'm guessing it's going to be Keeper Jungle. Are they sending Dual Lane top or something? What are they doing?
I don't know, Breaky. I have no
Suicide Master?
clue.
No, they're going to Suicide Keeper, I guess.
So it's going to be obviously solo short, or maybe not solo short, but Moon Queen bottom. They could do, you know what they should do? Well, they're not going to do it, but they should go solo mid keeper and then tri lane top. That'd be so sick.
Really?
That'd be so awesome.
I love how he was to say that. They're not going to do it, but they should do this. Where's the faith, Trelf?
No faith. No faith.
This is a Moon Queen ult, by the way. I guess it's like the Blood Queen ult or something, because it's just very red. Anyways, I always get distracted by these new skins. So we do see 4 heroes up here for the Legion side. They actually kill one of the Hellhounds, so that's a free gold for them. But, of course, War Beast being played by Chessie here. Scouting that out. And speaking of War Beast, sitting back at base currently, just using those Hellhounds. As we expect, they're probably going to see the Engineer Magnus bottom, Torture top, and, of course, Tempest Suicide bottom. Wait, what did I say? I meant mid. Anyways, you get the point. So Keeper of the Forest, it seems like either going to be an aggressive tri-lane up here. Maybe it is going to be a solo tri-lane up here.
Are they going to dual lane Keeper? Like, look at his
I
items. Usually, you don't get those kind of items if you're jungling. Like, he has 1 clarity. How is he going to get stuff done jungling with 1 clarity?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it is going to be a Suicide Keeper, it looks like, and then just double dual lane. That's what it is. Okay, I don't know why I didn't see this before. So it is going to be Suicide Keeper. They're going to dual lane mid, dual lane bottom as well. So,
yeah.
okay, it's all starting to come into play.
It's all starting to make a little bit more sense.
I just feel like, why not pick Bubbles, have a Suicide Bubbles, that's fantastic, and then also just get massive free farm on a jungler like Keeper. That just seems like the more logical decision to me. But they're going to go with the Suicide Keeper, and that's going to kind of annoy Torture just a little bit, but Haction does a really good job about getting the CS, even though it's pushed out back to his tower. He's going to take a little bit of damage, but he has a lot of treaters. So
I will say, being down here, this could actually benefit Moon Queen quite a bit. Now, Nymphora goes to stun first, but the grace of the Nymph, especially, it'll allow Moon Queen to use that Moonbeam a lot more aggressively on Tempest. Maybe even more of just an ultimate crazy harassing tool. So I wonder, I would hope that at level 2, Seal could get that grace of the Nymph, and maybe that's something they keep in mind. But yeah, seeing Master of Arms partner here for more access in the middle lane. And Master of Arms, not the most popular hero on the competitive scene, but it seems like he has played more of the support role when we do see him. And definitely that case here, being played by Handskin. So, yeah, the good old 2-2-1 setup here being ran from Lion. They are going to apply some pressure to Tempest, but he's going to be fine. It's all said and done. So
yeah, Moon dodging the stun. I don't think it really mattered. I still don't think they have that much damage. Right now, this is how they win this lane. Start hitting both Moon, get that Clarity Potion off him, and kill those Elementals. That needs to be instant, and they've already waited too long. And that's how Tempest is able to maybe do something in this lane, but it's very easy to counter him. If they just go, even if you just nuke Tempest while he is using that Clarity Potion, he uses another one right there. But his mana, or his elementals cost so much mana, 180 mana. And that's the whole reason why he can stay this lane, because it denies and it gives him a little bit of extra power to get those last hits.
Yeah.
So if you look at Moonra already, he's 5-3. This should not be the case. So kind of making a little bit of, I don't like how they're playing this in this bottom lane, but yeah. In the meantime, they actually have this duel lane against Magnus, and he's 8-0. So actually, Mirax is doing pretty damn well in the middle lane, so that's good for them.
We just something interesting that was I found that Super KG here on Moon Queen is actually switching the Ring of the Teacher on and off quite frequently. We see right there the Zeal stun hitting, and now comes the Moonbeam. But yeah, when they were like kind of pushing up to the tower, he seems like he was going on and off with it. Do you have an idea of why that would be happening? I mean,
it's to screw up the other person's last hitting.
Okay.
Yeah, solely for that reason.
But
yeah, this mana feed into Moon Queen is pretty cool. But
yeah,
again, he's missing some last hits. I've seen him miss like 3 right now, just all by himself. So that's unfortunate. But I mean, especially as a carry and a hero that needs all the farm in the beginning, like Moon Queen, you really got to get all those last hits. It really does make a difference, especially early on.
Yeah. So, as you said, though, Moraxis, I believe it was, yeah, 15-1 here in the middle lane. Actually not farming too bad at all when it comes down to it, so that's good for Lion Esports Club. Of course, Krepson playing that Moraxis. Moon Meander has had enough time in the lane, apparently. Is he going to go over to we see them go over to Ancients occasionally, and in fact, it looks like that's what he's going to do right here. Maybe try to take out the Predator here. As get some farm in the meantime, but that means, of course, Moon Queen unharassed farm by all means, if it wasn't already. So we'll be able to take advantage of that. So yeah, Super KGE, again, her farm not too shabby as you would expect. How about the top lane though in the action, middle lane action? There's a little bit of action going on here in the middle lane. The green goo is out. Good turret placed right there from Sender, or not Sender, but Franzi actually, and doing a bit of damage. Moraxis and Master of Arms will be fine though. A little bit of back and forth happening, but yeah, the top lane you got Torture is actually 18-0 compared to an 11-2 Keeper of the Forest. So, what do you make of that up there? How that's playing out?
That seems pretty correct. Like, who is playing this keeper? ALG? Doesn't have a hatchet, actually. MOA is taking a lot of damage from this. Double damage and an engineer. And,
yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't have a hatchet, so it kind of makes it a little bit more difficult to get these last hits, especially against a Torture who is going to agonizing bonds. So being able to harass and at the same time get that easy CS. But it looks like Moon Queen and Infora wanted to apply some pressure to this tower. The ring was turned on. Obviously, if Moon Meander is denying, it's being able to is pushing it back just a little bit. But I will say, in general, against a Tempest suicide strategy, the best thing to do is just solo one hero against it. You don't need two. And if you're going to have two, you need to be ultra aggressive early on, because right now they just don't have the lane positioning to really dive him or go around him.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just think they're playing this just a little bit wrong in this bottom lane. But I will say that Krebson on this Moraxis is doing a good job in mid, getting lots of last hits against this, what's a very lethal Magnus Engineer lane.
Oh, yeah, as we've seen all the time. So, yeah, well played by Krebson there. You see him sniping out some creeps with a chainsaw. Startability, of course, or as it's called, Moraxis. So Master of Arms coming back into the lane. Yeah, he took a lot of heavy damage from Engineer after regen, but he's back into the lane. And good to go. This bottom tower is heavily pressured. The Moonbeam being used right there, and Tempest actually dropping fairly low. One more Moonbeam could get the kill, actually. So Moon Meander needs to keep that in mind here. In fact, Moon Queen diving, yeah. So it's almost as if Moon Meander's kind of teasing him, knowing that he's low, but wants to get him in tower range. So well played right there. But in the end, the lane will be pushed back, and Moon Queen will continue to farm it.
Yeah, and I really hope that Moon Queen, spends his 1,600 gold.
Oh, God, here we go again.
Yeah, please don't save up for a Mock of Brilliance. Okay, he's going to go over there, probably buy some Steam Boots in full. And put the totem down, and Steam Boots, yep. Okay.
There you go, buddy.
So going to have a little bit of extra, and it looks like Moon is just kind of continually going over there and getting some of those consumables so he can stay in this lane. And I will say he is doing a fantastic job about at least hitting those levels, and he's still 14-4 as far as CS. So doing well in this Tempest Suicide lane, which I usually despise. But well, actually, it looks like MOA might be in a lot of trouble.
Ooh,
no, the axe comes out. Warbeast is in ulti form. MOA is for sure going to die right here. It does stun the Magnus, but it doesn't really matter. There's the haste from Chessie. Well, haste movement speed, I should say.
Yeah.
It's just too much for Handskin.
Chessie's just so good at that. He hits level 6, and it seems like he sets up a gank every single time he hits level 6 on a Warbeast. That's just another case for right there. The bottom tower is going to be pushed in here, however, by the Legion side, so some very good news for them, and a good gold swing somewhat in their favor. I mean, Moon Queen especially, she is now up to 367 gold per minute, so positives really for both teams right there. I mean, sure, the Bloodlust go for complexity, but losing the bottom tower at the same time, so not too shabby, but yeah, that was well played there by complexity, setting up the gank and getting the kill on a Master of Arms. Krebson did a decent job of landing an axe, actually, on Magnus as they were chasing. I thought it might have been made him just out of range, but it wasn't in the end. But yeah, some good pressure here at the bottom side. Moon Queen, however, with this lane now being pushed up, we'll need to keep that in mind. So we'll see if perhaps she starts going more into the jungle, maybe picking up that Whispering Helm, then eventually heading over there. So
Complexity should put a ward right over here to the left of the Ancient, so they spot. See where Engineer's walking right now?
Yeah.
And she just placed a ward right there. They needed to already have a ward right there so that Moon Queen can still stay and farm this lane, because the only kind of aggression they can have is this Engineer, bam, right there. So Engineer is already able to get a stun out. It does kind of push him away. The turret is placed nicely, actually, but Moon Queen's just a little bit too tanky. But for that exact reason is why they needed a ward up there, so they could see the transition of Engineer to the bottom lane.
Well, they don't have one up, and Moon Queen nearly got picked up as a result of it. But in the end, more than fine, actually. And will just continue to farm here. So Moonman, though, you said this. I mean, he has a Ring of Sorcery already. He's actually level 6, so
yeah,
not bad at all. I mean, not your usual jungle Tempest by any means, but again, he's been in the Suicide Rule. Not bad whatsoever. Speaking of Suicide Rule, how's Algae doing up here at the top lane? 32-4 now compared to the 44-3 Torturer. So, again, Torturer's still winning the lane, but Keeper of the Forest does have a Ring of Sorcery and some boots himself. Oh, bottom lane, they're moving a lot of trouble. In comes Magnus from behind with the flank. Out comes the Eruption on top of the keg stun, and down goes Moon Queen. So, lack of vision in general at this bottom area is no doubt hurts Moon Queen right there.
Yeah, and well, on top of that, the Magnus did have an invis rune that he used all the way from mid, so even if vision was up, I actually think maybe this ward that was just placed by Hanskin might have actually seen him go invis. I'm not 100% sure, but it might have. But nonetheless, yeah, they still need a ward right there. And having your carry die like that, Moon Queen that far up, that's really bad for him. His farm is not the best, actually. I mean, it is sitting at 330 gold per minute, but not the best in the sense that Moon Queen does need a lot of items to be effective. It's not something like a Mage Bane where you, or that's a bad comparison, but maybe something like Forsaken Archer, who can get maybe, you know, Geometer's Bane early on top of Whispering Helm, and then immediately be effective, just, you know, start fighting in team fights. She needs a lot of items. But yeah, in the meantime, ALG gets picked off by Haxford now, who gets the last hit with assistance from Chesney.
He even used his root right there. He thought he might have been able to get away, but all of a sudden Magnus came in from the lane and just stunned him. So I don't even know if that would have saved him, honestly, because Warbeast was still in his ulti form, so as soon as it came out of it, might have finished him off. But yeah, obviously LG just got a little bit desperate there, used the ultimate, hoping to get away. It just didn't matter in the end, though. So well played right there again, coming out from the Hellborn side. Obviously Warbeast had dust, actually, so that's why they were able to see him, despite being in that Nature's Veil. Things are starting to add up pretty effectively here for Complexity, and a very dangerous team to start letting snowball a little bit as they are right here. I mean, they're already at 4,300 experience, actually, so levels looking very good all around here on the Hellborn side. Torture at the top, and stunned from Magnus, but he's just stunning to go to the top rune, and it is going to be a regen rune that B-Kid will gladly take up. How farmed is B-Kid, by the way? He's 260 gold per minute, so he's not taking off by any means, but
yeah, Miraxis definitely have a better time in mid. They really need the PK up on him, and they need to start fighting with that. I mean, they're gonna lose pretty quickly against this War Beast, who just does so much damage. Tempest, if he gets, I will say there's two things that happen here in this bottom lane for Suicide Tempest. One, he's had Predecessors every single time, and so he's able to deny his creeps, go over there and get very easy kills from this Predecessors. It'd be a little bit of a different story if he had dragons, because they're much more difficult to kill. So that's a very good luck thing coming out from Moon. But I will say in general, I just think Lions play this incorrectly. When a Tempest spawns his minions, it should be one. If he's using the Clarity Potion, attack him. Just do anything, attack him, and just immediately kill his elementals. You have nothing to be scared of. If he uses his stun, he literally has 0 mana after that, because the elemental's 180. His stun is costly too. I think it's 140. So that's 320 mana spent to do just a tiny little bit of damage. If you just stop him right immediately, he cannot do anything in the lane. So he's level 8 right now with 250 gold per minute, 270 after taking these Ancients. He should be like level 4 with 150 gold per minute.
Yeah, so we do see Keeper of the Forest actually pointing to the middle lane. There was a little bit of initiation there in the middle between Engineer and Magnus, but as soon as they realized that Moraxis is, well, as usual, just pretty damn tanky, they decided to fall back, and that was definitely the correct decision right there. Move Meander on Tempest. He's kind of in the middle lane here now with those Striders and Ring of Sorcery. See if they can set something up. Because in the meantime, Torture and Warbeast actually push that tower with ease, and they're going to go to the top, the secondary tower as well. They probably saw Keeper of the Forest port in the middle lane, and they know that this is a free lane as a result, so they're going to keep the pressure up. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, the Legion team doing the same. Will they be able to accomplish something out of this? Master of Arms putting the stun there on a Tempest. Actually, the Zeal stun to follow. Will we see a root come out? No, we will not. And Tempest actually going to be fine in the end. That was a chance right there, but they decided not to waste it. But in the meantime, their secondary tower goes down. So Lion is being completely distracted here. And they are losing towers. The base is already starting to be pressured. You have to get back if you're Lions now.
Yeah, and Palement's up. The dogs are up as well. He uses that war cry already to half HP as that base tower, and they get the glyph out of them. Horrible exchange for Lions, but really good job from Complexity. War Beast plus Torture, and Torture's Impalement isn't even leveled up. It's only level 2. So, God, so much damage to those towers happened.
Yeah. if that was a level 4 impalement, if they stuck in right there, they could have very likely killed the tower. But yeah, anyways, the Lion Esports Club, that was a bad sequence of events for them for sure. They really just got distracted down in the middle lane. They didn't accomplish anything, and they lost 2 towers in the process. So all of a sudden, it's now a 5,500 gold lead, 4,800 experience lead. So if you're Lion Esports Club, you look at your Moon Queen, it's like, okay, that's not bad. 350 gold per minute. It looks like she's actually going to be going for her first item, Shrunken Head, here after the Steam Boots and Ring of Teacher. But is that going to be enough against this Hellborn team is the ultimate question. And, especially with a hero like Warbeast, he obviously doesn't care too much about a Shrunken Head himself. And then, of course, you got Tempest with the ultimate, who won't really care either and still be able to pull you in. So you mentioned that Portal Key on Moraxis. That's going to be a key item here. Still a little bit delayed off of that. He has about 640 gold saved up. Has a Steam Boots power supply, Mystic Vestments, but needs that 2150 for the Portal Key, of course. So until they get that, it does seem like that line right now really can't do too much here.
Yeah, and even if he gets his Portal Key, like, who's he going to jump on? The only really contender is maybe Engineer, but Magnus is going to have a Portal Key before you, so he's going to be able to respond. And Complexity is really good about about doing that, responding to other people getting gone on. And I just don't understand why they would not pick Bubbles. Why would they not take a great Suicider and then have a jungler just AFK farming? They don't need 2 heroes against the Suicide Tempest. It was very obvious that they were running a Suicide Tempest because they had both Tempest and Warbeast. So yeah, it kind of goes back to the drafting a little bit and just kind of how they played the lane. But I do like the first item pickup, Shrunken Head from Moon Queen. I do think that if Moon Queen is ran in this metagame, you do have to get a very early Shrunken Head so you can actually do something in a team fight.
Yeah.
So I do approve of that.
Well, so again, Complexity no doubt having the advantage here. In fact, they're doing kind of triple stacks as a team right now. Warbeast Engineers there helping each other out. Speaking of Ancients, the Legion team kind of doing a similar thing. You got Moraxis taking a good amount of that farm, so all of a sudden he has about 1,400 gold saved up. So again, getting fairly close to that Portal Key now, but as you stated, what really is that going to bring to the table here for our Legion team with the way things are going. So a little bit more of a passive style of game. Warbeast actually picks up a Warhammer, so I wonder if Chesty's going to be going for a shield breaker. I guess he would have already had it. No, did he just purchase it? What did he purchase? He purchased a Mighty Blade. So yeah, he's going to be going Shrunken Head, actually. Just so wanted the Warhammer first for the damage output. But he'll have a Shrunken Head himself going into those fights. Magnus actually in the middle lane being a little bit cautious here. He's got a double damage rune activated, but you can see the Legion team, they have 3 players there. Not able to capitalize really, though, and Moraxis will just continue to farm in the jungle in the meantime. So this is continuing to be more of a passive style of game here now, 15.5 minutes in. Not too surprising with the circumstances. Still 0 kills, actually, for Lion Esports Club, so not even able to take advantage in that sense. Really unfortunate for them. And Tempest is, Tempest, 2,400 gold saved up. So Moon, he's actually going to go to the side shop right here and probably purchase a Portal Key, and there we go. So now they have a Portal Key Tempest on top of everything else.
Yep.
He was Suicide.
Yeah, but they just
yeah.
He got levels in experience or levels in farming he should not have. But yeah, very passive game. I just realized that it only have 3 hero kills coming up to the 16-minute mark. So extremely passive right now, and I gotta say it's on Lions. They can't really do anything right now. They need to maybe wait for some pickups, but when you're ahead, why not get further ahead? So Complexity doing the thing that they should. Shrunken Head up on Warbeast. Maybe that's their cue now to fight. They have double blinks coming out onto Magnus and Tempest. So yeah, I think they can easily pick a fight now. He actually Nymphora ports in here. Very aggressive port coming out with MOA.
And they're like, yeah,
very interesting. Very ballsy, to say the least. But it looks like Complexity might form out something here down the bottom lane.
Torture's still top.
Yep.
Chasing down. Yeah, not sure what that was about. I don't know if that was just a wrong teammate that he wanted to bring, or just simply they might have thought they had a chance of Warbeast, but then all of a sudden the help came in. Obviously, he just got the Shrunken Head, and they were like, oh, bad idea. So did not work, and well, Complexity is somewhat going to group down here, but as you said, they got the double Portal Key now. They got a Shrunken Head on Warbeast. This is a time, if any, for Complexity to really take advantage of that, and I'm sure they will. Torch in the meantime at the top lane. Haxer kind of just AFK doing his thing up here, continuing to do so. He is now farming 345 gold per minute. He's going to port bottom, actually, so yeah, Complexity going to full group up down here and make something happen. This tower is easily going to fall. Lion Esports will not be able to stop it. They are going to counter push in the meantime in the middle lane, actually. They're going to get that tower kill. This could force Complexity to maybe retreat and the react if they keep it going, perhaps. Are they going to keep it going? They're kind of going back and forth. Looks
might
like
as
they
well.
are. Yeah, they might as exactly. You're not going to get down to the bottom lane, so you might as well. They're going to apply some pressure, so we'll see what Complexity decides to do here. Now, Torture's Homecoming Stone is on cooldown, so
yeah,
they will not be able to take advantage of that.
I mean, it's bad actually. Actually, Magnus is setting up, so they'd be fighting a 4v5 Torture's, and Torture's going to have to immediately run there because, as you mentioned, good point out. He's going to walk back to there, but in the meantime, they're still pushing. They realize that Lions has backed up, and they realize that Keeper of the Forest is top. So just one port is all they needed to maybe defend that. Here's actually Nymphora porting, using an ultimate. And on the bottom lane, it's MOA yet again. Going to use that green goo, but how effective is it really going to be? The push is so damn strong coming out from Complexity.
You see Warbeast in the front lines. Ulti form activated. Does take a blast shot right there, but going to be fine in the end. The tower falls, and you see him critting for 260 right there on the creeps. And they're going to put it at the top, and actually Tempest, the Tempest ultimate pulling it out. He's going to be canceled by the Moon Queen Moonbeam, and Keeper of the Forest will get away. So, interesting decision there by Tempest. I don't think Keeper was invisible at that time. Obviously, that would make him visible to your team, but yeah, obviously thought he was alone for one, but
well, even I caught the tail end of it. Actually, I didn't really catch any of it, but I don't really know if they had the damage to kill him.
Yeah, that too.
Obviously, they don't have dust onto Moon or Torturer or Sentries or anything like that. And the port from Mag was mid. He was still farming that. The other heroes were off the map or way somewhere else. So kind of an interesting decision. But nonetheless, it's going to open up things for Warbeast as he is trying to attempt Kongor. They might have an idea as both Nymphora and MOA are down here. Maybe waiting for something. Actually, port's coming in mid. Magnus in a little bit of trouble, but he's going to use that Steam Bath and be just fine. So Portal Key was picked up onto Meraxis. Probably wants to use it right here. I think they know, actually, that Kongor is being attempted.
Yeah, they have a very good idea. In fact, the animated tree's coming in. Obviously, though, Complexity already fallen back. In fact, just going over to the Ancients. Warbeast will clean that up. You see the Tree Dogs running in here, so they'll be aware of it. But they're just going to be cleaned up as well. And even more farm for Warbeast. So, hey, you'll take that. Moraxis is running over with that Portal Key, as well as Master of Arms. They're going to actually jump. Oh, Nymfora's porting in. They're definitely going to go for a jump opportunity right here. Nymphora ports in with Keeper of the Forest. He is level 11, has that level 2 root, but Warbeast and Engineer get away just in time. And so instead, they're just going to clean up the Ancients, actually. So that's what they'll accomplish. Will they maybe even go to Kongor? That could be interesting. But I don't think they are. Moon Queen does have that shrunken head, of course, and another only 300 gold saved up, actually. But so possible action there. But in the end, still 3-0 hero kills. So very, very passive game here.
Yeah, the fantastic thing for them is that Warbeast has his Soul's Bulwark, and he's going to be dishing out a lot of physical damage. And as long as Chessie isn't hasty in popping that shrunken head, as long as he waits long enough to after Keeper the Force ultimates to get out of that, then they'll be fine. He'll have free reign in that team fight to dish out so much damage.
Yeah, so Warbeast is just going to start pounding away to Kongor once again. We do see, yet again, Lion Esports Club. They are aware and going to at least prevent Complexity from actually killing Kongor right now. But obviously, Complexity does have that advantage if they can keep them distracted and just keep on going back and forth and maybe eventually kill him off. But Keeper of the Forest, those are actually just illusions that he's sending out on the front lines, trying to distract. So yeah, Complexity, it's also a case of, is it really just worth spending all this time here and going back and forth? Let's just go ahead and continue to farm. Torture's going to do just that kind of at the jungle. It looks like maybe even go to the top lane, pressure it a little bit while these delays are happening. Warbeast will actually just continue to do Ancients himself. So Torture does need to be a little bit careful, though, that he is by himself, and you do have Nymphora and Keeper of the Forest over here. But he'll fall back, and once again, nothing more will happen. So here we are, 10,000 gold lead, 7,700 experience lead in favor of Complexity. While we do have some downtime here, actually, I guess it is important to note that obviously there was a patch today, as there is every Friday, but today's patch, there was a couple of balance changes. Nothing too significant by any means. I mean, I don't think it's going to have really any impact on the competitive scene, but there was, I think, 5 or 6 heroes that maybe took some changes. The one that stood out to me actually the most was actually, well, of course, Solstice got nerfed, so there you go, guys. Get nerfed. Whether or not it was the biggest nerf is
charity nerf.
Whether or not you think that is going to be enough is completely up to you. And,
okay, I heard that they were doing this. Obviously, I can't leak anything beforehand. I knew that they were going to do something to him, but damage. Okay, now that we do have a little bit of downtime, I will just say damage decrease on his W spell, the Shining Rays, the thing that does that massive AOE like Mock of Brilliance damage. Oh no, 50 damage to 45. It's fixed. It's fixed. I do like the cooldown change on his ultimate. That's much better. But why even put that damage? It just, I don't know. It doesn't matter.
The math, damn it. The math adds up. Yeah, so that was one, and then just actually Drunken Master actually got some changes as well. He got some buffs, so Drunken Master, we saw him occasionally, especially when the more the strength meta game was prevalent. But actually, well, we do have some possible action in the middle lane. Pork coming in. Nope, gonna be canceled though. That was a correct decision, as everyone here from the Legion team was ready to go. So they're gonna lose a tower actually. So yeah, very passive game, but Lion Esports able to take out another tower. They may even go to Conquer themselves, actually, here. And Conquer's not full life, but he's taking some damage. Still a good amount left. But no, they're not going to do that. Instead, they're going to counter-ward even Ancient Kill out of this and fall back.
Or are they?
Or are they? Never mind. All right. They say, screw it. We'll just keep it alive. Keep it blocking, I guess. That's the ultimate goal.
Oh, that's my OCD coming out, man. I have to have that creep killed. Look at this HP. It has to die.
It's blocking, though, Trell.
Even if it's blocking, I would still kill it just to make myself feel better. Look at that. It's such low HP. It just wants to be killed.
So much gold. I don't know. I get that, yeah, there is we talk about this all the time, how if your head get further ahead, but it really does seem like to me, though, Complexity, they had a window there to really just push it in with a double portal key, the Shrunken Head. They say, you know what, I guess we'll wait for our next tier of items. We're going to see a Shrunken Head pick up here on Tempest. Torture's got to have something. Yeah, I'm guessing maybe even Sheepstick. I mean, he has a Blessed Orb, 2,900 gold saved up, so could very likely see a Sheepstick on him. So probably going to be the next tier of items before we see a push to maybe finish things off here in this game. But
yeah, it's very, very passive game we got going on. Only 3 kills yet again. This time 25 minutes just about. And there's a couple reasons for that. Obviously, Lions, they want to try to get. They want to play this very safe because they know that they're in a very huge deficit. Also, they have an M4, which does make it a little bit more difficult for Complexity, but Complexity has team fight and they have aggression, so I don't know really why they haven't decided to do anything, especially after that Shrunken Head was picked up on Warbeast and the Blinks were up on both Tempest and on Magnus. Maybe they're waiting for Tempest to do the okay, obviously Tempest is close to his Shrunken Head, to do my refresher trick.
Yeah, that's probably what's going on.
That's probably, that seems likely. Like the most likely decision. So we will be seeing that in about 40 minutes.
We're never going to give up on that until we finally see it. Yeah. Somebody's going to pull through. Kind of a funny side note, again, in a very, very slow game here, but Warbeast, I never even realized, but when he presses his battle cry, in fact, he's probably going to do it in a second here, he spins around just randomly in a circle.
Really?
It's kind of a silly animation. Yeah, will he do it here? It's off cooldown. It's level 4, so no reason not to. Do it. Do it. Come on, do it. Why are you not doing it? You should. It should always be off on cooldown.
It costs no mana.
It costs no mana. It's very good uptime. You're beating down creeps.
Maybe he'll do it here.
Entertainment at its finest. We're sitting here.
Oh, Shrunken Head picked up on Torture, actually. So not going to go for that.
Oh, interesting.
That seems always kind of weird to me because Blessed Orb is pretty inefficient as far as just straight up gold for stats. Like 2,100 for 10 stats, very inefficient. So kind of interesting why he didn't just go for that Sheepstick, especially with Moon Queen having the Shrunken Head. I thought it would be a little bit of a better pickup for him, but wants to be able to actually maybe do something in team fight, mainly just get out of that key with the Forest Ultimate. Now, if that was the case, I don't know why he didn't just buy it earlier.
Yeah. Now, is there a case if your Complexity where, again, it's one thing to get further ahead, and that's fine, but you are dealing against a Moon Queen. A Moon Queen is a very dangerous carry in a mid to late game stage. So the more time you sit back and not really force too much, and it's showing. I mean, the more time you allow her to free farm, and again, her GPM's not taking up enemies. Nice job by LG right there, by the way. Oh, she takes the tower, but, well, but at what cost? He's, he might be dying right here. Great dust coming out from Franzi. Keeper of the Force will fall when it's all said and done. So in the end, probably not the best exchange to happen there. But yeah, Moon Queen, 360 gold per minute. Again, it's not like it's, oh god, you need to be worried, but
look at Complexity. Oh, I thought they were going to go for immediately Congo. Right after the kill, they all poured it down here.
Looks like they might, actually.
And it looks like they actually might go for that straight Congo. They know that if they have Keeper down, they cannot take a team fight. Oh, yep, double damage is up on Chessie. So I hope he switches his Soul's forward because there's clearly no reason. Actually, he has a Brutalizer now. I love that pickup. I always love. This is like exactly what I would go on Warbeast. I usually see Chessie actually go for a Shield Breaker as the Legion's Courier does fall. Didn't have anything on it. It does fall. is I normally see Chessie go for that shield breaker, but he doesn't go for it this time. I just love attack speed plus brutalizer. It's just fantastic.
Yeah, so he has that now to work with, and of course the brutalizer with a stun that it applies at 1.4 seconds. It's on top of the bonus damage. That could actually be a very powerful tool. So, yeah, the Legion Courier dying again. Not the biggest steal in the world. I'm sure they could just rebuy another one pretty quickly, but they're using it to scout out. The tower also falls right there. Keeper of the Force is now back up, but just now joining the team. So they lose Kongor, they lose a tower. That keeps going back to, again, one kill, how much of an impact that can really have, especially on a very slow game like this. So that really was. And Complexity now with 14,000 gold lead, 13,000 experience lead. Really adding up here. So sure, Moon Queen's somewhat dangerous in the later game stage, but still by no means at that point. Complexity still has a very good chance right here. In fact, Tempest is going to be jumped up. Tempest in a lot of trouble. Tempest will fall. Keep the Force Root coming out. This is a chance here for the Legion team. The Moonbeam's doing nothing because of the Shrunken Heads, though. And Moon Queen's in a lot of trouble. In comes a great eruption from Beacon right there, doing so much damage. Moon Queen will fall when it's all said and done. Despite her Shrunken Head again, Warbeast just does not carry the physical damage way too much. So great pick there by Lion initially on the Tempest, but didn't matter in the end.
Doesn't matter. Yeah, I mean, you were asking, as this gets to the later game, they do have a Moon Queen, but Warbeast, it just does so much physical damage. So much physical damage. So it's just ridiculous. You're going to have Moon Queen with complete full items. But they can't do that right now. They cannot get those items up on her. They need also a Health Flower maybe on Meraxis, but that doesn't even matter. You have so much AoE stun and spam, or sorry, AoE stun and damage coming out from Magnus and Engineer on the top of that. And Torture in the mix as well. It's just too difficult for Lions right now.
Yeah. Yeah, the Shrunken Heads, again, they clearly played a huge role there as well. I heard the Moon, Moon Finale activated there by Moon Queen, but just no damage seemed to be happening because of the Shrunken Heads. It's like, nope, nope, nope. So, yeah, made it very difficult in that sense. And, again, it's actually, oh, I thought that was what you could see, but never mind. B-Kid actually apparently doing something Haxman agrees with and doesn't want to have him in the game anymore. But, anyways, Complexity, very good spot here. It's as if they weren't already. The chances of Lion Esports Club coming back here, it definitely is very, very, very grim. Again, this is a losers bracket round of 8, so a quick recap on that. This is game number 2 here. Obviously, Complexity is up 1-0, so a win here would secure the series. At this point, though, both these teams, all these teams still remaining are, of course, in the Diamond Division. At this point, they're playing for, I apologize for repeating that, but they're playing for prize pool as well as the points that add up all the way to the end of the season, which are, of course, very impactful. We do see a catch here at the bottom lane. Magnus will fall, as will Engineer, so actually, Lion Esports Club making a couple of solid things happening. Torture was able to port away with his own Shrunken Head, but good couple of picks right there, so maybe a Complexity getting a little bit overzealous themselves. They don't really have any vision down here. It's just more so roaming around trying to catch somebody. Yeah. And they happen to find the whole team of Lions, so.
Yeah, they found the whole team of Lions. They didn't have the team to support them. B could realize quickly right after he stunned in, oh, horrible decision, let me run, but Lions pursued him fast enough and long enough to actually get the kill. Yeah, I did see that spin actually from Warbeast as he just did right there. Kind of weird. Magnus does have a buyback if he needs to, but this tower is dropping pretty quickly. They didn't really need it. They're already up 15K, 16K.
Have it. You know what? Take it.
Exactly.
So obviously, Lion, it's a case of, yeah, they're not in the greatest position, but this is an elimination game, not only for the series, but the tournament as a whole. They will be done here if they lose, so might as well play it out in that sense and have any hope still alive. So that's kind of what they're going for here. I mean, items are starting to add up more and more, I will say that. I mean, you got an Arcana now on Krebson playing this Meraxis, so Hellflyer's on the works for him. 4,000 gold on Keeper, by the way. Wow. Not sure about that. He's saving up for something big, clearly, but I would think, having a Soul's Bulwark on this team could be very powerful, especially even in a defensive aspect against that Warbeast. So, but he has 4,000 gold saved up, so he's going back to base right now.
I guess Soul's Bulwark would be great. It's just really hard to. You're going to need a lot more. He is going to go for looks like a Refresher on Keeper. I'm assuming he's probably not going to go for Hellflower. Refresher might be the best decision, but nonetheless, Hellflower is up on Meraxis. They are getting some good items, but just not enough. It's just not enough for this Warbeast who's dishing out so much damage. Now has a complete demonic. And, I mean, when you think of Warbeast as a great jungler, a great pusher, he's also an amazing carry. He really is. He dishes out so much damage. And it's not to be scoffed at. He does have his Token of Life also up for 2 minutes. I gotta say, Token of Life on Warbeast also post level 16 is freaking amazing. because he can basically cast his ultimate all the time. So they should probably coordinate a push right about now. It looks like they are grouping up in the mid.
Yeah. Yeah, he's up there with everyone else, of course, from Complexity. So seems like that they finally came to a sense of, all right, I think we're powerful enough. We can make this happen. Obviously, that token of life helps encourage that. Warbeast is in the front line, seeing a lot of stuns right there. Already dropping half life, actually, but doesn't really care too much. Astrolabe heal coming out from Engineer right there to help out a little bit. But he's just going to sit in the front lines, pound away at the tower. He is going to end up falling right here, most likely, so there we go. But again, token of life going to bring him right back up. Tower will fall, but a great jump from Miraxis actually. Can they capitalize? Right over in the background, and Warbeast will fall right off the bat. The Tempest ultimate, though, going to be huge here for Moon Meander. So despite Warbeast dying, it might not matter. Eruption coming out from Beacon, but Beacon is dropping low himself. The tower finally falls, but now Complexity is in retreat mode. Keeper of the Force chasing down. Moon Queen in the front lines has that defensive master's call. The final auto attack, maybe even a Moonbeam in 1 second. Not going to matter, not going to matter, not going to matter. Is he in range? No, the Magma stun coming out, and Moon Queen is going to fall when it's all said and done. Can she buy back? Yes, she can. But a great pick off there in the end. Torture somehow surviving. He's going to juke into the Force. Keep the Force. No, keep the Force. Portal keys in and takes out Haxman right there and gets the kill. But still, despite Complexity, despite Warbeast dying right off the bat, it just didn't matter. Great Tempest ultimate from Moon Meander.
And I think actually Moon Queen should buy out right now. They need to still save these racks. If they can salvage anything, it's these racks right now, but maybe they don't need to. Okay, they're not actually going to pursue. They're just too low on life. But that was actually fantastically coordinated by Lions, I gotta say. If there's any way that you can maybe do something with that team fight, it was to kill Warbeast twice. And I feel like Complexity got a little lazy. Maybe they just realized that Lions wasn't going to go on to the Warbeast right after he resurrected from that token. And they didn't really help him out. Like, he just stood there, died. And, oh, they're going to maybe look for a pickoff onto Beacon. Beacon just picked up a regen, unfortunately. And, oh, yeah, they just didn't really have that much damage. Actually, even the MOA, or didn't have the vision. Even the MOA ulti coming out offensively from Miraxis, but Beacon will be just fine. But, yeah, that was actually very, very well coordinated by Lions, but still, I mean, there's just too many items up and too many heroes farmed on Complexity. If you pull up the GPM, look at everyone is doing fantastically. In fact, Magnus, the second lowest GPM, is higher than everybody on the Legion team.
Well, I think a big reason why they honestly killed Warbeast in the beginning was the Keep of the Force route as well. Obviously, it started with Miraxis, he jumped in right away, but Keep of the Force followed in the background and caught, I think, maybe even everyone on Complexity. So that clearly delayed them. But as we saw, it didn't matter because Tempest did a great job. He hit 4 heroes. The only hero he didn't was Keeper, which would usually be dangerous. But again, he just used his route, so it did not matter. Now, Keep of the Force does have a Restoration Stone. So he finishes that, and again, I believe he has enough mana for the combo. Yeah, he definitely does. It's 800 total, looks like. So he has enough mana for the combination. So that's something else that Tempest will have to be worried about. Actually, Torture getting caught here in the middle, and Hellflower's on blood. Does he have a Sheep Stick in time to maybe help him get away? Not going to matter. He will fall. And a great catch coming out here from the Legion side. Now, Warbeast catches Master of Arms in the meantime, so 1-for-1 exchange. He's going for Moon Queen. Moon Queen being locked down by the Brutalizer. Nearly gets the kill right there. Out comes the Keeper route, though. Moon Queen with the Moonbeams. The ultimate's activated. Warbeast is dropping very quickly now as a result. Moon Queen needs to be careful, though, not to chase too much. Mine's going to be used, and Moon Queen will survive. With the Shrunken Head going to be fine, but Magnus jumps in. Great timing by the Swag Miss right there. Gets 2 kills as a result. The Hellflower coming out. Not going to matter, though. He'll be fine for now, or will he? Yes, he will. Steam Bath going to be used, and Complexity will win the fight when it's all said and done. Tempest Portal keying in. He has an ultimate up in 5 seconds, actually. But Keeper of the Force going to fall back, and that'll be done. So.
Yep, fantastic job by Beacon as always, getting that ultimate off, timing it so that it was just starting right when Moon Queen's Shrunken Head was down. Also good, you got to give credit also to, sometimes they don't get enough credit, but the warding coming out from Franz, he's been very good all the time, giving him that extra vision. Had he not had that vision of Moon Queen there still in the river, he wouldn't exactly know when the Shrunken Head was going to be out, where Moon Queen was going to be as the Shrunken Head was fading. So, good job all around.
Yeah, that was very well played indeed by Complexity. I mean, again, it seemed like Lions, they had a great pick to start that on Torture. He did nothing. They did use quite a bit, though. They used the first route, and of course that meant Keeper of the Force had to Resto Stone, and then they used the second route in the midst of the bigger team fight. But by that time, Master of Arms was already picked up, so it was 1-for-1 exchange. He's still in favor of the Legion team, you would think, but I think also we saw the damage output by Warbeast there. I mean, it was ridiculous what he was doing to Moon Queen in that fight. He nearly killed off Moon Queen by himself in like 5 auto attacks. So
yeah,
the Brutalizer, if it procs like it did right there, which it very likely can, especially with that Demonic Breastplate, then Moon Queen's in a lot of trouble, as is this Legion team. So But that was definitely a close fight, but again, in the end, Complexity came out on top. That's what matters, and the gold and experience are showing as a result. 21,000 gold, 17,000 experience lead. It is at a point of being pretty extreme here, so
yep.
Lions no doubt need some, well, not only good things to happen themselves, but they do need mistakes to happen from Complexity when you're at a point like this, so.
Yeah, definitely. Now, I haven't played, okay, I should say I do play a lot of War Beasts, but I wonder, I can't remember what the case is. If you buy a Geometer's Bane in your ulti form, I don't think it gives, obviously, your ulti form illusions, but I'm wondering if you stay in your ulti form and then the illusions are just like your regular form. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure, actually. That's a good
Would that
point.
actually be not a bad item against this team? Obviously, having all those extra minions for the Moon Queen ulti, being able to get out of that Key of the Forest ultimate in a number of different ways.
Yeah. How does it work for Malakin, actually? Do you know?
I don't remember.
Anyways, we do see right here, Moonqueen's going to stop in first, and actually, Moraxis in a lot of trouble. Moraxis will be locked down. Moon Queen jumping in, but again, there's so many shrunken heads. She's not doing too much. She may kill Engineer, but that is it. No, she won't even do that. Yes, they will in the end. Give it the Force points in, but is it going to matter? Give it the Force going to be locked down with the Moon Queen. The tap is ultimate. The Magnus Eruption right on top of Torture, and Lion Esports Club will just melt to the ground. And 4 gets picked off, and if it wasn't over already, I think that could be the final mark of this game officially being over. Kongor is going to drop here now as well, and I believe Complexity is on their way to a 2-0 series victory here.
Yep. They just have a fantastic team makeup. They really do. And it comes back to a lot of small things. Why did Tempest get so much farm? Why didn't they have a Suicide Keeper when they could have had a Suicide Bubbles? And at the same time, if they had a Suicide Bubbles, that means they'd have a jungler. Okay, basically it would be Suicide Bubbles would get free experience and maybe not that much farm, but at least complete experience against the Torture in the top lane. And then you would substitute the levels and farm that Nymphoria couldn't get or MOA couldn't get for a jungler like Keeper of the Forest, which would get complete free farm in the jungle. So it's just you would have had resources much better spent. You also wouldn't have wasted a support hero onto that Tempest in the Suicide lane, which you don't need 2 heroes for. It's the same idea as like playing against a Plague in the Suicide lane.
Yeah.
You don't need 2 heroes. You don't want 2 heroes against a Deny. When you can easily take that hero down with just 1 hero, even like Moon Queen. You could argue, well, if you're trying to kill his elementals right after he spawns them, he can just run away with them. But the movement speed of those elementals is so freaking slow, and especially up against a Moon Queen, who has a very, very high base movement speed. Very easy to combat that lane.
Yeah, it's that's a great analyzing right there of, you know, really just going back to the beginning of this game and, again, how things are going to have a trickling effect. So Warbeast did just buy a Behemoth Heart, I believe, so he is going to have a lot of life. It's going to be near 3,000, I believe, once he picks it up even more. So, yeah, he is not only a big-time damage dealer, but he will be surviving quite well as well, as we see right there. So, yeah, 3,200 life here. Absolutely ridiculous. Kind of a side note, yeah, speaking of Warbeast, actually, a stat we never really look at, honestly, under the stats tab, tab number 2, is the building damage, actually, at the very end of for either team. And you look at the building damage. Warbeast, 43% of the building damage done this game has been done by himself. So it gives you an idea of just how dominating Warbeast is in the presence of actually pushing down bases and towers and whatnot. So
yep.
But of course, he's also, in fact, I'm going to pull up the hero damage tab. All right, you know, he's in the midst of it all. That's pretty even spread, actually. Moon Queen.
He doesn't have AoE damage, so that
yeah,
the
that
Moon Queen has obviously the glaives that will hit, and then the AoE damage from Torture and Magnus, so no surprise there. But Warbeast hitting for 300, just about 300 max damage, pretty crazy at this point.
Yeah. And
then also has so much HP, he can go crazy in team fights.
Yes. Yes, he can. So he's going to lead the way, of course, once again here at the bottom lane. Now, didn't know, too, Torture actually picked up the Token of Life. It wasn't Warbeast this time. And obviously Warbeast, though, with the 3,300 life that he has, not that bad of a deal. He'll be more than fine. So this, no doubt, is the game-winning push right here. If Lion can somehow stop this, maybe we'll still have a game left. But if Complexity wins this game is over. So Warbeast in the front lines, again, spamming that battle cry. Might as well. Torture jumping in. Actually, Sheepstick going to be using Master of Arms. Master of Arms going to be targeted towards. He just gets decimated right there. In comes our first root from here with the force. I'm going to see Tempest jump in. Torture is going to fall in the foreground. Torture with the ultimate activated. He'll finally fall. No, he's going to survive, actually. Tempest pulls in Keeper as well as Nymphoria. Great lockdown right there. We're going to have the Eruption on top. Can't Keeper the force get his second ultimate off. No, he cannot. It doesn't even matter. Another Tempest ultimate coming out from Mumi into the Restoration Stone. making big plays right there. Genocide Avenue for Complexity. GG well plays being called, and Complexity will move on here in the losers bracket. Lion Esports Club, their road in the HoN tier qualifiers will come to an end.
That was pretty funny. Used the Rescue Stone and then had the blink obviously up again.
Yeah.
Everything to use again. And Complexity just played fantastically. I will say in game one, it seems like it takes them a game to really get up to their full speed.
Yeah.
And yeah, congratulations to them as they've battled their way time and time again through this entire losers bracket. Yeah. So yeah, like you mentioned, they've played a lot of games. So hey, maybe that is good, especially as they're performing well against some of these top-tier teams later on in the tournament as they prepare for DreamHack.
Yeah, B-Kid has had to been waking up at 9 a.m. every day for him during the HoN tier qualifiers because of them being in the losers bracket. So I'm sure he's not been too happy about that. But again, you know, that was just unfortunate circumstances. In the end, they've grinded away, like you said, though, and here they are moving on. So big congratulations to them and staying alive, competing for more prize pool now as a result, and of course, more points even when it's all said and done. And there's always that pride factor. So, but for Lion Esports Club again, the road ends here for them in the HoN tier qualifiers, but they're still in Diamond. They're going to be a 9th through 12th team as far as the seeding goes. Still a great finish, and I'm sure I'm sure they're still excited when it's all said and done. You know, not the worst deal in the world, and I can't wait to see them perform. Of course, in that first Diamond cycle set to start after DreamHack. So. That should be wrapping things up here for our first part of the coverage today, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, it is going to be a doubleheader, but for our losers bracket match, that means things are going to come to an end here. We're going to take a short break, or not short break. It's 2 o'clock now, so we have about an hour and a half before the winners bracket is set to take place. So of course we'll be coming back for that. And speaking of that, now the matchup we are planning to cover. Okay, so here's the deal. Here's the deal. So Q Squad is playing Domain of Pain. However, I am 95% sure that match is getting rescheduled. Q Squad, they are just in the midst of traveling right now to DreamHack, and so I believe that match will be getting rescheduled. So that leaves us with the only option from the winners bracket, with only 4 teams being left, is actually Gary Johnson versus Trademark Esports. That's a fantastic matchup, obviously, so not that that's bad by any means.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm looking forward to casting that. Now, as we saw yesterday, apparently Gary Johnson may have some issue if we end up casting them, and may have some lag issues with certain DDoS attacks or whatever. So if it comes to that, we'll jump into a losers bracket match. But so we'll see. We'll see what's going to be coming up as far as later on. But so that's the plan at least right now. So again, that's about an hour and a half from now. That's going to be at 3:30 Eastern. That's 12:30 Pacific. I guess that's 21:30 Central European time. So that's kind of the plan. So about an hour and a half from now, we'll be coming back at you and looking to cast some more Heroes and Newers. So with wrapping up here, any final words from yourself, Trove?
No, it should be fun to give a little bit of a showcase about what's going to happen at DreamHack. Obviously, both TDM and Gary Johnson, or Vote, or whatever you want to call them, are both in the same group.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, will be fun indeed. So, all right, until then, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you guys enjoyed that. That was a pretty entertaining series right there. Lions versus Complexity as expected. But for an hour and a half, going to take a break here. We'll be back. Tune in then. See you guys.